Hi, everyone. This is Hal Hawkins with the Retro World Series for episode 9 of our podcast. It has been a while, a few weeks. We had some issues. We had told you we were going to bring AfroCole to interview with us a couple weeks ago. Um, some things came up where he wasn't able to, but we finally got him. So we are going to be talking with him. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if you don't know who AfroCole is, he is one of the original greats, one of the godfathers of Street Fighter II. He won one of the Battle of the Bay tournaments. He won an Evo Super Street Fighter II Turbo tournament. He came to Vegas last year and won our Super Street Fighter II tournament. So he's a really cool guy, has a lot of knowledge of the game, and so I think you'll enjoy this. In case you missed it, the last time we spoke with Colton Pipkin, who owns Level Up Expo in Las Vegas. We are coming back, so if you want to come to Vegas, I hope you will. I hope you plan early because things change very quickly with Vegas. There's been times where, all of a sudden a fight will get booked or something well after we've announced we're coming to Level Up Expo, and hotels, quickly disappear. So it's going to be cool. We're going to have we've partnered, and we're very, very, very grateful to them. We've partnered with the Classic Tetris World Championships. We're going to do a qualifier there. We're doing Smash 64. We're also introducing No Mercy. We've never done that game before, but Level Up Expo really likes the wrestling, and I think we're going to introduce that as well. Bringing back Pokemon Stadium 2. We're bringing back Mario Kart 64 after a hiatus. Street Fighter 2 Turbo, obviously, which I hope AfroCole will be there. And also, we're changing from Tetris Attack to Pokemon Puzzle League. So, hope we've had some excellent competition. And finally, we're also going to bring back Halo, which was a very, very fun tournament. That's going to be April 23rd through 25th next year. So I hope you'll see it. Get ready because it's gonna come quick, and I hope you plan ahead. And if anything, that's the one event you don't want to miss. Come to Vegas, have fun with us for our main event. So without further ado, I will introduce you to AfroCole and our interview with him. Well, thanks for joining us today. I haven't gotten to see you in almost 2 years now. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Was it? It was 2018. Was it 2018, right?
Yeah,
Or
I
29? No,
think
no. It's only been a year. You were 2019.
that's right. I did
Yeah,
come
that
back
was the
once,
one
but
you
I had
won.
to
Yeah,
I had to regain my title.
yeah. You just had to
That's
wait for it to
right.
be the Dreamcast version, not the PS2 version, and bring
That's
your
right.
stick this time.
Oh my God, that made a world of difference.
Um, so what have you been up to? You've been playing much since then?
Not much. I actually just recently started playing again because I just acquired a PS4. Kind of out of the scene, out of the mix. Just world just makes you work sometimes, so I had to hold it down. But now I'm kind of addicted to Dragon Ball right now.
Oh, really? So you're playing Dragon Ball right now?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, shit, I got enough going right now in the background.
So so how much of playtime do you dedicate to Street Fighter right now? Are you doing
Man,
other
right
games?
now, since I lost my PC, honestly, I'm limited to Street Fighter Five right now. So I just recently got back into Street Fighter Five. I probably put like, to be honest, I'm probably putting more time into Dragon Ball and ST than I am Street Fighter Five.
Really? Well, I mean, there's more of
Yeah.
a. Is there still more of a competitive scene for ST?
Oh man, yeah. Actually, speaking of ST, so some guy took it upon himself to make a new, like, updated version, kind of like HDR, and so everybody's been testing it out. It's nothing like that's gonna take over the mainstream ST, but it's just something that's fun, and he made a lot of cool changes. So everybody's been playing that on the new Fightcade.
So
It's been pretty.
is it redrawn like HDR HD
Oh
remix is?
no, it was just a guy that just went in there and just changed. He basically just changed data. Just
Okay.
changed stats, made things work, because the ST had a lot of weird glitches, so he went out trying to fix a lot of those glitches. Like, for some reason, Dawson can't wake up reversal super. If he does, he'll always get like a normal move and get exposed.
Really?
He's the only character that can't do that. Well, him and Honda, I guess. So it's little things like that he fixed. Execution things where some movies were really hard to do. He made it a little bit easier, like HDR, and then just kind of tweaked some things. Made like blended a lot of the old characters with new characters. So it's kind of interesting. Everyone's playing it right now, but of course I'll always prefer the original ST.
Yeah. Well,
Don't
I
mess with
mean,
my
is that where you got started in the beginning? Was ST, or how did you
Oh
get started
man,
in
yeah.
Street Fighter or
No,
fighting games in general?
man, that's how old I am, bro. I was from the very beginning of the FGC, and I'm talking World Warrior Two Street Fighter. Like
So at
it was in
91?
yeah, like we going to 7-Eleven. That's where we fought. I remember I would ride my bike to pretty much every 7-Eleven looking for the local champ. I was like 16, 17. I'd walk into 7-Eleven. Who's the best player around here? This be like such and such. He comes around 5 o'clock. I'm like, I'll be back. And I would do that all around my area. And then I remember one day at the local mall, they had a flyer for Street Fighter, and that was the very first national tournament that good old James Goddard did back in his PR days for Capcom. And that's what started it all, man. I went to this big event, saw so many crazy players, thought I was the best, had my first real defeat. And after that, I just committed myself to Street Fighter and
How
been
how far
involved
did
in
you
Street
get in
Fighter.
that tournament?
Man, so this, this is my first experience. So I pretty much went 2-0, but everybody that went 2-0, they had another secondary tournament for like I guess all the bums. And I got second in that tournament, so
Oh,
I was really
nice.
proud of myself there. I was like, all right, at least I'm the best of the scrubs. But it was an amazing experience. That was the first time I saw like Tomohiro, like the LA guy, and then he played against Tama Sasaki, our NorCal,
Yeah.
legend. And then, you know, months goes by, eventually I become good friends with them, and Suits Champion Edition, Hyper Fighting, and I was just involved in every Street Fighter since then. And
So
I've been
how
going
much
that
time did
long.
you spend practicing and playing?
Dude, back then I lived and breathed it, bro.
Yeah.
There was not a moment I was not playing Street Fighter, not thinking, not testing something. Like I would have my friends, we would play countless hours just sitting in training mode, trying to find ridiculous shit stuff, or we'd be playing and somebody would do something crazy, and we're like, all right, we got to go to the training mode and try to figure out what you just did. And that
Were
was like
were you using the SNES version for that?
was that?
Were you using the Super Nintendo version for the training mode, or what were you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh man, when the Super Nintendo came in, we played that religiously, no complaint, none. We were like, oh my god, you got to use a pad. We were like, yeah, Street Fighter at home. I remember I had a local like Japanese store, and so they had it like a month, like ahead of time in America. So we went over there, played the hell out of that game, man. Oh my god.
So
And then
no elitist attitude towards the port. Like, oh, this port's not good enough.
ran out like guns, like arcade cabinets. So I remember one day on my birthday, I rented one and just invited all the Elite Street Fighters that Elite Street Fighter. I kid you not, for 48 hours straight. If somebody was sleeping, somebody else was on that machine.
Wow.
We got our money's worth.
Oh, that sounds like it, man. So
Man, but
how
the
did
day.
you like? Dulcime's your main, right?
Mhm.
So how did you decide that this is my character? Because you played it so much. How
Man,
did it come down to that?
that same first tournament that I'm telling you about, that I
Yeah.
told you about, I was actually a Ryu player, and I was tried and true Ryu, and there was a qualifier for that tournament to get into there, and during the qualifier, this is my best friend to this day, but at the time he was just a stranger. He comes in, and I was the local champ, so he
Right.
comes in with Dawson, and me and my friend, and this is World Warrior. This is like the original Street Fighter 2. And I'm looking at my friend, look at this guy playing Dawson, talking all this smack. And this is the first time I've seen anybody do a reversal throw. So when I went to start cheaping him, he started throwing me, and I was like, what? And he beats me. And after that, I was just like, man, I underestimated that character. From that day on, I dedicated myself to
Right.
Dawson. And then by that character, so it was like you had to play one or the other.
So is Ryu still your second, or who's your backup?
Oh man, Ryu hasn't been one of my main characters. There was a couple of versions I played him as main, which is champion and hyper. mainly Hyper Street Fighter was when I became like a true Shoto player.
Right.
That game, man, every character was viable in that game. It was such a good game. But then other than that, let's see. Yeah, I never really rocked Ryu hardcore like that. I never really went back to him mainly for fun. Like ST, I'll mess around with them, but I'm more so of a Ken player than I am a Ryu player nowadays, anyway.
So how did you keep competing, and how did you get involved in in the Battle of the Bay series?
Man, because I mean, I knew I knew everybody. Like the people that started Battle by the Bay, that was my local area. You know, that was Sunnyvale Golfland. Like the Cannon brothers were my neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Like all of John Choi. You know, we connected with LA eventually because we kept having big rivalries, and then
Right.
the tournaments just kept getting bigger and bigger, and then more people started coming out and stuff, and these guys were just these are my friends that I grew up with, so that's how I was able to follow the scene because they were pretty much my friends who started it.
Right.
And then I lived in San Jose, which probably was just luck, that every top company was in San Jose, California. Capcom, Namco, back then they had Data East, Atari, Sega was down the street. Everything was there. So, we got all the new versions of the game all the time. Like everything was always either there or LA.
Right.
So I was kind of blessed in the area I was at. That's how I was able to keep up with everything. And then, me and John Choi, that was my original rival. And like we pushed each other to such limits. And then once we got introduced to Japan and, got to go to represent Team USA, just everything just kept changing and we just kept perfecting our styles and, you know, meeting new people that would change our views of the game and then just make us get better.
So when
So
were
that's
you
what's
chosen to
crazy.
go to Japan?
So that was the year after I won Evo 2002, the second year. So
Okay.
I just went back. They had already went previously during a special
I think it
event,
was
and
B4
then
for Battle of the Bay 4 that they
mhm,
went, right?
yeah, it was. They had a qualifier, and then they basically had this special tournament where it was like we, the USA represented, basically set five people that represented like six games,
Right.
whereas Japan had five people for each game, and it
It's
was
not fair.
our first iteration, and we still came within 2 points of beating them and
Oh
stuff. But
wow.
so much better in like they were really so much better in Third Strike than us, and then we were so much better in Marvel too that it came down to ST actually to decide the final factor. It was kind of cool. And
So
then the
how'd
year
you do
after
an
that,
ST in there?
I didn't go the first time. I
Oh, the
actually
first.
went the
Oh, okay. That was the first time. So,
mm-hmm.
but when you
And
went,
then so I
how
was
did
just
things go when
supporting.
you went?
Oh, when I went, it was amazing. I mean, we could have did better. As a captain, I made a bad call, and which I still to this day blame it on our loss. But like we went representing Team USA, and it was me, Valle, and at the time Bob Painter was 3v3 team for ST. And that was when Super Battle Opera, Japan's big SBO tournament, was huge and was all team oriented. Very rarely they had singles. So, like, Valle is a good loaded gun to drop first, and so I don't know. He wanted to go first in our match, and get this, out of all 62 teams, there's only two teams that had Dawson in it, and we played that team first round. So, and then at the time, I kind of had a fear of Dawson match. So I made a bad call, didn't let Vaya go first, and then kind of set us up. So we didn't do too hot. The other team, I think, won like two games, and then we kind of all got beat up that year.
Yeah.
But it was still an amazing experience because we got to interact with the FT guys. They were amazing people. We actually everybody really bonded. Like all the Japanese guys there. I mean, half of them we couldn't even understand each other, but with a little beer and after all the tournaments, everybody's communicating somehow. But it was a great experience on SPO. I loved it. That was the only time I ever went to Japan too. We went there for like 2 weeks, and it was nice.
So what was it like? I'm showing footage of the 2K2 grand finals that you won when you won your
Oh
second one.
man, against Onuki, it's a crazy story that I tell a lot of people. Like the time during this time, Onuki was basically slaughtering all of us, and he was getting up to the top 10. I was the only one that had not played him yet because I was on the opposite side of the bracket.
Yeah.
So when I finally, get to him, you know, everyone was like, "Oh, just be careful, blah blah blah," and I was just like, I'm just gonna go in on him. He doesn't know my slide style. So I put him in a losers bracket really fast, and people were just like so shocked. And then he came all the way back to the grand finals, and I remember he had basically time to kind of master, like learn my strategy, and he actually beat me that set. So he comes in grand finals, beats me the first set clean. Like I think it was
All right. What we're watching
three
right now, I
three
believe,
one.
is the first set. So
Yeah, yeah, he's destroyed. He ends up winning all this stuff. Let's see.
like this is yeah this one's wild, right? Like you won this.
Oh, okay, I clutched
So,
that one. I clutched
yeah,
that. I think that's
yeah.
my one. But like, so check this, right? So he beats me first set. All right, I get off the stage, go get a breather. I go to talk to John Choi, and I'm thinking, and sure enough, like basically, I told John Choi the story, and I was like, hey man, I was scouting Onuki earlier in the tournament, and I noticed he was using old Saget. And I was like, I think he has an old Saget. And I was like, I think that, he kind of learned my style. So I'm just going to come in first game Saget. If I beat his Chun Li, it's all good because I'll have one first game and he won't be able to counter. Because then he's going to come in and counter my Saget with his Saget. And then
Right.
and even if he beats me, I'm going to come in with Dalton, kill his Saget for free. And he's going to run back to Chun Li. But by that time, he's going to have forgotten my style, and I will just need one more win. And Joshua was like, no, man, just stick to your guns, bro. You just gotta play more solid, more solid. And I was just like, everyone was telling me not to do that. And I was just thinking, and I was just like, man, I was just like, I don't know. So I was like, you know what, you guys are right. I'll just stick to, I can pull this off. So I get on stage, right, and I'm just thinking, and freaking Onuki comes back all like confident, and this is the time where we had separate cabinets. He had his own special Japanese cabinet, and I had my own uh, American cabinet. So,
Right.
but I could see him to the left of me. He's just on the left. Oh, you can see right there,
Yeah.
right there.
One
You see
one
my
now.
cabinets on?
Yeah.
Right. So when we come back, he immediately picks Chun Li, and I'm like, oh my god, I was like, he just picked his character immediately, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna do my strategy, and so I ran the Saget, and everyone's like, no. And so, but my strategy worked, and I did scout him out. So I freaking ended up beating his Saget. Sure enough, he ran immediately to Saget, and I looked at Chuncho, and I was like, yo, he did exactly what I said. And at this point in my mind, I had already won. I'm sitting there playing Saget like the shittiest Saget. Oh, excuse my language. The crappiest Saget you've seen. I wouldn't even care that I was losing because in my mind, I was like, he's done. My trap was set.
Yeah.
So he beats me. I run immediately to Dawson. I beat him in like 2 seconds. Then he comes in with Chun Li. And it was just like I said, it was too much of a drastic change. And he couldn't remember what I was doing with Sim. And I closed it out and jumped off that seat, man. Everybody bum rushed the stage when I run. It was the most craziest feeling I'll never forget, man. Like the crowd was like getting me hyped too, because like every time I encountered him, they would scream and it would give me so much energy. It's impossible to lose like that when you have a crowd on your side. It's something else, man. Let me tell you. And that's how that went down and stuff. I basically came up with a counter based on me scouting him out just for a second and saw
Right.
something he was doing and caught him on it. And I was like, oh my god, that was probably one of the greatest fights.
So, did things change? Did things change pretty quickly when you started winning these championships for you? Like,
Oh man, things drastically changed. I mean, as soon as I got back from Japan, I think I left Namco, and that's when I first became a designer. Like that's when like a company hit me up and was like, hey, you know, an old friend works for this game called or a company called Paradox Development, and they're like, hey, we'll think you'd be a good junior designer, you know, games and yada yada. He's like, we'll teach you, you know, how to code. And I was like, you know, I had nowhere else to go, and I love games, and I was like, you know what, why not? And
So the
that's
door's open
I
for you
became a
from a
designer.
career standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, before like the gaming, like winning tournaments, you know, I was working for like all these game companies, being a tester for Namco, being a tester for Capcom, and then I
Right.
started working for different magazines, writing for doing strategy guides and stuff, going to E3 media represent. So, you know, I knew a lot of the developers already. So, like with me just winning Street Fighter and what I was already doing, entering gaming, you know, it kind of just all blended together. And it's like, man, we might as well start. And then that's where my career started. And pretty
So
much that's yeah.
so did you just start focusing more on your career and
I
put
did.
back the playing on the back burner a little bit?
I mean, I still play because you know the people I worked with were still hardcore gamers.
Yeah.
Like I'm still around everybody in LA because I was in LA. So you know, and when I moved up to Seattle to go work for NCSoft, like I was doing like Street Fighter 4, and like the scene in the Northwest was pretty much like non-existent. It had died after Marvel 2. And when everybody found out that I had moved up there, I pretty much kind of reunited the entire Northwest from like Oregon to Canada to Washington, all those players that brought them together during SF4, and now they have this such a strong and lively scene. But I pretty much didn't even walk away. Once I got my career, I was doing both. I was still playing, but I was more mentoring. So I had started my Afro dojo up there, which you know I had a house up in Sammamish, Washington, and I would have over 50 plus people in my huge house on Thursday. We called it Thursday night grill fights. And basically, I'd had local tournaments. Everybody would come. I'd, you know, ask what people wanted to eat. I'd go to the local store, get all this meat, and I would just be grilling while we're having a tournament and streaming it and stuff. It was a great time, man. Really good time, and it brought the Northwest together. So it was pretty cool.
So from a
So yeah,
competitive
I
standpoint,
kept playing.
did you grow as each as each new iteration came out? You know, when Alpha 3, Alpha or Third Strike came out, and then 4 came out. Did you keep adding those to your repertoire?
Honestly, I have Third Strike. I came way after the fact, kind of like a lot of Americans did.
Right.
Because when Street Fighter 3 first came out, I was kind of a hater. I was so in love with Dalton, and when I saw Street Fighter 3, I was already my mind was blown because I didn't believe it. I was like, oh my god, it actually made Street Fighter 3. We used to talk about this.
Yeah.
We didn't think it was real. And then I was like, oh my god, how you can't screw this. I was like, that ain't no Dalton. I was
Yeah.
so mad that I didn't play part one, didn't play second impact, and it wasn't until Third Strike where I finally, you know, gave in and was like, all right, you know, it's a big game. That cool, you know? But like, and if it wasn't for me moving to LA and doing my design, that's actually when I became a designer is when I started playing Third Strike because you know I was raised in Family Fun Arcade, which is known for a huge Third Strike crowd. And I watched a lot of those guys like Pyro Lee, Frankie G, grow up and stuff. And I was blessed enough to be with them and learn Third Strike through that much. And you know Ed Ma, Combo Fiend, all those guys. And then there was one time, me, Combo Fiend, and Ed Ma, we were all in the Texas Showdown tournament, so we teamed up for Third Strike, and shocked everybody because like I'm sitting there with this strong team, and then we had to go all the way to finals, had to play Justin Wong, Ricky Ortiz, and I think Fubar Duck, which is they were playing Triple Chun Li, which is cheap, man.
Yeah.
And I OCV'd them, man. OCV'd them the first game. Everyone's like tripping. Carlos was going crazy. Everyone talking track. And then I beat one more guy after it, I think, on the second set, and then Fubar Ducks beat me. And I'm walking off the sticks like, all right, we got this. I got Combo Fiend, Ed Moss, two greater, way better Third Strike players than me. They're gonna close this out. And Fubar Duck just runs them over. And I'm just like, what happened? All that work I did. But
So
yeah,
I
like I
saw
used
that
to Street Fighter
that
3 all together.
yeah, I saw that you also played competitively. What Capcom versus SNK? You did pretty well in Evo in that one.
Yeah, that was a whole nother era. Man, CVS2 was a really big game for the
Yeah.
FPC. Like when that game came out, it again brought a lot of people together. And And of course, Cali had the jump start because we had the prototype. So we're sitting there playing hella hardcore, getting ahead of the game everywhere. And then, once Japan discovered roll canceling, and they didn't discover it, like a couple of the top players were testers, and they let that roll cancel pass. People don't know about that. But yeah, CVS2 was huge, and yeah, with roll cancel, it became an even more amazing game. It's such a skillful game.
But
I love that like
you
people are
got
still
back into
keeping it
the
alive.
you got back into the competitive scene though when HD Remix came out though, right? Because
Oh
you
yeah,
played that at
definitely.
you got fifth in that at Evo, right? In 2010.
Yeah, that was awesome. Actually, I remember that tournament. I don't know if it was it was the one where I think Snake Eyes won, right?
Yeah, Snake Eyes won that. He was on
Yeah,
Geef.
and but I felt like that was a passing of the torch because HDR was a new mix, right?
Right.
And then here I am in the top eight, and right before going in the top eight, I think I had to play Daigo, and put Daigo in the losers bracket, and then ended up playing against my good friend. I forget the brother's name, but he's a good Ryu player, and I was okay losing.
DGV.
Yeah, DGV. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, DGV. So
I
he
do my
takes me
homework,
out.
man.
Yay, that's what's up. I appreciate that. But man, yeah, and I remember losing to him, but I felt so proud because it was the first time there had been two black guys in the grand finals for ST with all these top Japanese players. So I felt like it was almost like a passing of the torch. Like I did my job. I was like, here, Daigo's out of your way, guys. Don't get him. And then I said Daigo straight to Afro Legends. And I remember going up to Afro Legends, man. I'm like, look, bro, I'm about to send Daigo to you. Can you handle the rest? He's like, yeah, no worries, bro. And that's the game. I think he double perfected Daigo
Wow.
Balrog with his own Balrog. He like Daigo tried to counter Aqua Legend Balrog with Balrog, and he got slaughtered. I was like, oh my god. And then yeah, it went on Snake Eyes versus DGV, and that was an amazing match, man. I
So
love that. I love that tournament. That was a good
yeah.
tournament.
So did is that where it kind of plateaued on your competitives? I mean, yeah, you came and played in our
For
tournaments and did
ST,
really well, but did it kind of plateau there and you kind of let the competitive
yeah.
side
I
slide?
mean, I was more into the new stuff. Like back then, I was more into just helping the scene, helping players, because like I was so into like the Seattle Northwest scene. Like,
Right.
I represented, for Street Fighter 4. I represented Team Seattle. I was just the captain. I didn't even play,
Right.
and you know, I always stayed involved with like tech and just still wanted to kind of contribute. I tried to start my 5v5 league, a while back. Didn't go so well. I should have planned a little better, but I still had a vision. I always used to call what we do virtual martial arts, VMA, because I feel like it is a martial arts. It's just virtual. We
Yeah.
do all the same practice regimens just like any other trainer. We train, we study, we have to have discipline. There's mind, body, and spirit has to be sound when you're playing these fighting games. You got to be really in tune. So I really, try to coin that virtual martial arts. And one day it'll pop. One day, you know, a good league, like a real league, can come out with fighting games to help it. And honestly, I just to go a little bit off topic here. I heard all the big fighting game companies in Japan are about to have this huge meeting, like SNK, Capcom, Namco, like all the big heads are getting together for some reason, and I'm hoping they're getting together to try to come up with a universal like fighting game kind of league that all
With
their
what
games can be a
in
part of.
correlation with what
I'm
happened
just
with
guessing.
Evo, they're trying to kind of do
Yeah,
their
I
own
think
thing
I
now.
think that's another thing too. It's probably because of what happened to Evo. They're probably now getting together, and they probably want to do another one of their own type of SBO events or something like that. Because
Right.
SBO is amazing. I don't know exactly the details of why it got canceled, but we definitely need a league for these fighting games, man. Like it needs to be treated as a sport and not a WWE type sport.
Yeah.
Like exhibitions are cool and all, but these kids are really putting their all. And if you can treat like League of Legends like a sport and all these other games, freaking Rocket League, Fortnite, like there's no Street Fighter should be the first sport.
Yeah.
It should be right
That's
there. It's
where it
like
got
number
started, really.
yeah, exactly. And it's just to me like it's just like the Olympics with fencing and freaking there's a team there. It's one on one, but you still have a team. So I just hope FGC can grow from all this chaos that's going on. I mean, we kind of push ourselves 20 years back with all this stuff that's
Yeah.
going on right now. But hopefully, it just makes things better in the future.
So when you came to our event in Vegas the first time, we at that time we were using the PS2 version, and you got second in that, and then you came back the second year when we did the Dreamcast version. Had you been playing much, or was this kind of like shedding some rust
Oh,
on
when
this one?
no, when I came back, I had a purpose to beat my homie. Because I had just got I just updated my computer, so I had a new Fightcade.
Yeah.
And I was playing on Fightcade like every day, and like every Monday they have this Fightcade tournament. They're pretty religious with the ST. They do like a little Monday night online tournament every week religiously. So I started playing in that just to get myself up to par. And now with like all these people, it's so awesome. Like people are really keeping ST alive.
Well, I
And
know
so I feel like you. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was saying that I know that the first year, 2018, when it was the PS2 version, after Rock Howard had beaten you in the grand finals, he came to me and told me he felt bad because you were just playing with a regular PS2 controller, and he felt bad for winning.
He did. He's that humble of a guy. Though. He's a good
Yeah.
guy. I love Rock Howard.
But you definitely came back determined. I saw it. I saw it in your eyes, man. You had a little bit more, a little fire in you, and you were prepared.
Challenged like that in a long time, so I felt good. I was like, he reignited my fighting spirit. Oh, Rock Howard, I shall defeat you in the next event.
Yeah.
But he's been traveling a lot. I've actually been following him and stuff. He's been getting out there. So man, more props to old Rock Howard, man.
So do you think ST is still seeing a decent competitive seen as a decent competitive community, or do you think most people have moved on to
ST
five?
Probably, yeah, ST next to like Third Strike has an unbelievable community.
Really?
And like
I don't see that in Third Strike, but maybe that's me.
Yeah, well, Third Strike they're more private and it's probably more Japan. Ah, look at old Rock.
Yeah, so you're leaning forward. You're serious. Like you're ready to go. You're leaning forward.
You see, I'm doing all the keep out tricks too. I remember when I first played them, I was like, I really was rusty, and I had to play on the pad. I was like, oh man, okay, Rock, you're making me get back into ST. I was like, thank you for that, bro. And now I just shut him out. I was like, sorry, bro, you woken up the beast. But yeah, like nowadays, like I feel like it's an obligation and like a love. It's my art, Like it's like a grand master. They're always still practicing. Maybe they're doing their Tai Chi, but a grand master, he might not be as fast, but that wisdom, he'll still shut you down. And that's how I feel with Street Fighter. Like I'm always gonna try to keep my ST skills up par because everybody's still playing, and there's still new kids trying to get into it, and it's such a solid game. And with ST, it helps you play it helps you play all the other Street Fighters and stuff and fighting games because it grounds you kind of.
Right.
It's the old school basics, and then you play these new games, and it just reminds you of like, okay, sometimes I got to keep it simple, even though I have all these options.
Yeah. So, of all, one of the things when I first started Retro World Series was figuring out what the best port was, and because I know that FGC guys, especially with older stuff, are real picky about what ports they want to use. And so what I did was, at the time it wasn't really feasible for me to get a bunch of Dreamcasts, but what I did is I looked back at what Evo used. And if I'm not mistaken, they originally used the PS2 version, the Anniversary Collection. And and then they switched to the Dreamcast, and then I think for 1 year, and then there was HD Remix.
HDR came out. Yeah, and then HDR came out, and I had to test that. And then HDR lasted 2 years.
So what do you think is what do you think is the best? Besides, it's not always feasible to bring a bunch of super guns to play the arcade version. What do you think is the best version for Do you think
I
the
mean,
HD
I guess
remix is the way to go, or the Dreamcast version?
because like there's HD remix, and then there's that new 30th anniversary one now,
Yeah,
and it's like at this point, it's like, man, it's so hard to get like I just kind of committed to this 30th anniversary one, and then the Fight Cave versions are a little
right.
wonky, but like it has to be a universal one because yeah, it's not realistic to bring these super guns, but the
Yeah, I
thing
mean
is, people are
that's why I wish you had been
pretty.
there this year because I had a buddy of mine who came and he actually won the tournament, but he came and brought like six different
No
super guns,
way,
and so we
super
were playing the
guns.
arcade
Yo,
version.
that's so awesome. Oh
And
man, that's
yeah,
messed up.
I don't know if we'll be able to do that next year, but
Well, they got these crazy freaking like, man, people are just. This is the thing about the ST community. They're so high tech, man. They keep making these insane, smaller and smaller, like freaking super guns where you can like carry them around and
right.
stuff. And
But
like,
they're not cheap.
it's
That's
like
one
the
of the
best.
issues is they're not
They're
very
not.
cheap.
Yeah, they're not cheap. That is true. But then, man, people are struggling to keep ST alive. I'll tell you that. They're out there. They do not like SF5.
So besides ST, you talked about Capcom versus SNK,
Yeah.
and I think you like to play Marvel versus Capcom too, right?
Yeah, I'm a spectator. I mean, I enjoy it, and with my little lowly scrubs, I'll play and mashing buttons and stuff. But against the elitists, man, they will run me over in some Marvel. But
So
my kind of games that were all my claim to fame were ST, and then it went to Alpha 2, Alpha 3. Really strong in Alpha 3. I still mad to this day that Capcom actually did a national freaking Alpha 3 tournament recently, and I tried my hardest to get there and I couldn't. So I probably missed the one chance to play like some of the greatest like Japan guys at Alpha 3. I play them online all the time, but
it's
it's
not the
different.
same.
But yeah, Alpha 3 and then CVS 2, probably those are my three like chosen games.
Now,
Those are the
um,
games I made that I did damage in.
now you were telling me off screen that you've developed helped develop quite a few games. What games have you worked on?
Yeah.
There was the Mortal Kombat. What was the Mortal Kombat one you were talking about?
Yeah,
Shaolin
so
Monks.
yeah, that was my second game or third game was Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks for the PS2. That game was awesome. I basically did the entire versus mode and did a lot of the hard mode boss enemies and stuff. Kind of
Wow.
gave them like their combos and stuff. But it was like one of my first and earliest projects. Like Backyard Wrestling was my original first project, and then of course I worked for Sony for a while and worked on God of War 2. And that experience was pretty awesome.
Which
From
game
there,
was
I
your
got
favorite project to work on?
man, probably backyard wrestling and Shaolin monks. Just because we had so much freedom, man. We had
Right.
so much freedom. We could do whatever we wanted, man. I remember, they wouldn't have had a versus mode if it wasn't for me. I remember working and they're just like the lead designer, just like, yo, Cole, we need you to do versus mode. I was like, what do you mean, like tweak it? He's like, no, currently doesn't exist, so we couldn't need you to kind of make it work. And I was like, all right, man, I want it. It ended up being so fun. It was broken, but man, it's one of the funnest parts of that game. And there was so many secrets. Like the game was so fun to work on because we had so much freedom. And then that's what ended up. That company got bought out by Midway at the time. Now
Yeah.
NetherRealm Studios. But yeah, that was probably the most fun.
So do you have any future plans for competition?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get back into the mix. I'm gonna see where this, I'm pretty much still probably like close out SF5 playing Dawson and Honda and
Right.
whatever broken new character it is. But I kind of
Oh, you're
anticipate
assuming
getting.
it's a broken character? It's going to be a broken character?
Oh man, like if they release Elena or Rolento, those characters are gonna be. And Makoto, of course, I forgot Makoto might be up in there. And if Makoto's in there, she's pretty much now we got two type of lores to deal with. And they're not gonna be. They're gonna be all over the place, stunning fools, hitting buttons, can't be busted. Invincible moves. Oh my god, Elena is probably gonna be so fast with all these combos. Oh my goodness. And then God forbid if they put oral, that means there's going to be some urine type like cross-ups that you're going to have to deal with this super.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, this and then we already got Seth and Gil, so like obviously they don't care about making it broken at this late in the game. They're like, put everything in the kitchen sink too. Man. Like these
So,
next 5 characters are gonna be something else. Watch.
so have you played any tournaments since 2019?
I haven't played anything honestly, and it's
Really?
so sad. I mean, I'm sitting there grinding Dragon Ball, and like, yeah, since I started this Amazon gig, I've been like a graveyard shift, so it's hard for me to get to the local tournaments. And they haven't
Oh
even been
man.
having them in Vegas. They tried to start them, but then the virus stuff hit. They shut everything down again. So
Yeah.
everything's just online, and I just haven't been playing any online. I'm mainly just kind of leveling up, just kind of working on my own style because I would like to go to an event, but who knows where the SGC is going to be going after this. It's probably going to be a while before things get rolling.
So I know you got this trophy from us. Where do you have a nice big trophy case for all your trophies and belts and?
Oh man, yeah, it's my mama's house. She does all my trophies. She got my belt.
She's gonna keep
Everything,
dusting them
man.
off for you.
Yeah, yeah. I actually still have this trophy here with me. I actually haven't got to bring it back to my mom yet, so I still have it on my shelf.
Oh, awesome, awesome.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, man, I really appreciate you coming on. It's been great talking to you again. And
Oh yeah,
sorry we
man.
missed
Thank
you
you for
this year,
inviting
but
me.
I know things have been a bit crazy. And we'll definitely be back to Vegas again. I hope you'll come play. And if we end up
Oh,
on any more
definitely.
West
I'm
Coast
not miss.
tournaments, hope you'll come
I
play
got to
those
get
as
Rock
well.
Howard one more time.
Yeah, where's he at? Bring him back. So those
Yeah,
were
I
some
mean,
good
he
matches.
missed. Yeah, I gotta actually call him up too to play some online games because he still lives here in Vegas. I'm pretty sure. So I'll have to see what's up. But yeah, definitely. I'm gonna also do my best to try to participate in that ST tournament. You're gonna have that online one,
Yeah.
so get some action in there. I'll
Oh,
try to
that
actually
too.
get him a
Yeah,
block or
definitely
so
come play
too.
in our online one. So.
Actually, I should recruit a lot of people onto that thing just to make it interesting.
Well,
I can talk a
that
lot
would
of
be
shit
awesome
and
if
get
you can get the more the merrier.
yeah.
So.
Hell yeah! Actually, I'm gonna do that because we got a good minute. It's like on the 15th or 18th, right?
It is
We've got a couple
on.
weeks.
Yeah, I think it's a couple weeks away. Let me pull up my schedule. It is on the.
All
Let's
right. Well,
see.
I will start
It's
spreading it.
September. The Super Turbo is September 19th.
Oh damn!
The fifth.
Oh, I thought it was.
You're
I thought
thinking
it
of
was
Marvel
like
versus
way time.
Capcom 2. You're thinking of Marvel versus Capcom 2 for on the 15th of
Oh,
August.
okay. Yeah. I got it
So yeah.
mixed up. Oh, I'll definitely get a squad for ST. I'll get some shit. I'll talk that damn die into playing, man. He loves tournaments. He'll probably join it just to try to beat me up. So I'll be like, that'll be the bait. Yeah, you can try to
Awesome.
get me. All right, brother. Well, thank you again for inviting me, Hall. You
Yeah,
guys are
man, it was
awesome. This is
great
my
listening
first
to your
year.
story. I really, it's been fun. I will look forward to seeing you again.
Most definitely. So, like, hopefully the world gets back to normal.
Have a good one, man.
Take care, man.
Bye. All right, that was AfroCole. Man, that was great hearing how he got started, and yeah, he has a great story. He's a really great guy, really good player, and if you want to get into the Super Turbo, he's one of those guys that he can teach you a lot. Um, so yeah, I'm glad we finally got him on board, and we plan on having other great players to come in and joining us, and I hope you'll stay tuned when we announce our next podcast. Don't forget that this Saturday we have Diddy Kong Racing. We're the first time we've ever done Diddy Kong Racing. We're going to do it online. We've had some demand for it. I know there's some debate whether or not it's better than Mario Kart 64 or not. But yeah, we're definitely doing it. And Tekken 2. And so it's $10 a piece, pretty cheap to enter, and real simple to set up. I can definitely show you how to do it for the online play. And it's going to be fun. So 2 o'clock and 6 p.m. this Saturday for Diddy Kong Racing and Tekken 2. Well, that about does it. Hope you're staying safe out there, and I hope you have a great weekend. See you soon.